I've been doing this for 26 years. It's been started at Michigan State University when I went to school there, Michigan State. And then I'm going to say that this hockey school is a big reason why I ended up playing so long. It was just something that it's all about getting on the ice, getting prepared for the season. And this allowed me to kind of look at what I was doing properly. And then I was able to go and change it and edit it to apply it to my game. So my name is Mike Weaver. I played in the NHL for 600 games. I'm alumni to Atlanta Thrashers, LA Kings, St. Louis, Vancouver, Florida Panthers, and Montreal Canadiens. All right, this back in the day. I was assistant captain with the Panthers at one point, and I love my time in Vancouver, so I'm so excited to be coming back there. So my journey to the NHL. I'm 5'9". Yeah, everybody kind of rounds up. I think it was 5'10" in the NHL. So I'm a defensive defenseman. I ended up keeping things very simple, and I think the reason why I stayed so long is you're figuring out your game at an early age, that you're able to just focus on that, and you're able to evolve it a little bit here and there, but kind of honing into what you're really good at, because you can't have all goal scorers on the team. You can't have all fighters on the team. You can't have all defensive players on the team. You have to have a little bit of mix of everything. So I was drafted in the OHL, but I attended Michigan State University. I ended up attending with Brad Hodgins, who's on the call here too, and I'll get him to kind of talk about his experience when he came to Toronto for the school this past summer. I was undrafted in the NHL and I signed as a free agent. So out of all the kids in Ontario, 78-year birth year, there was only 12 kids that played one game in the NHL. And out of that, there was only 3 that were under 6 feet. And I was one of them. So that was back the 78-year birth year. So it's something that the odds of making it are pretty slim, but why can't it be your son or daughter? So, all right, playing in the NHL, 633 games, over 1,000 games pro. And there are my teeth. So I ended up going and writing an article after I retired for the Players Tribune. A real story that you can just Google it, Tales of the Undrafted Puck Eater, and it allows you to kind of see kind of my path, what it took. And it was really cool. This one really thing that stuck through my whole entire career. Let's see. So what we teach take back control of the game, right? Stop reading, reacting, start initiating and dictating. Your stick is your best friend out there. And a lot of people are like waving it, stick on. A lot of coaches don't even know how to even teach the game. They're like, oh, angle. Okay, well, how do you go and angle them, right? And they don't give them the tools to be able to go and do that. And this is my coaching tool that I designed. So I help not only the players, we have 10,000 active subscribers. Hockey Canada, both men's and women's national teams are using it. So this is kind of what I'm talking about, influence. And a lot of coaches are just like, oh, just go and angle them. I'm going to go and demonstrate exactly what I'm trying to go and teach her. So if a player was behind the net, okay, and the forward is right here on the hash mark. If this defenseman was standing right beside that forward, would that defenseman pass it? Well, everybody's going to say no. And why didn't that person pass it there? Well, it's because of that D. Basically, that D dictates whether that defenseman is passing it or not. So like if I ended up going back here, well, that D is going to pass it, right? Now, what your coaches are doing, and they're going and screaming and yelling on the bench, right, is if all of a sudden this defenseman goes down, that defenseman passes passes it up, and this defenseman gets beat and he gets yelled at. Well, if all of a sudden that guy passes it and then this D's decides to come, well, he's going to pass it by him. That defenseman's going to get yelled at. So what is your coach trying to say? And he doesn't really have the knowledge to go and actually, like, he has the knowledge, but he doesn't know to explain it. He doesn't know how to go and actually say what he's trying to go and say. If you get the puck, yes, he's happy. But if you don't get the puck, he's not. So what he's trying to say is, he's trying to say, arrive at the right time. If I'm able to go and actually, instead of me being here, that's 10 feet, go all the way here. If I'm here to recover 10 feet, right? Like a goalie, what does a goalie do? Does he put his hand all the way up? Right? And then all of a sudden everybody shoots at the bottom. That's a far distance to go down. If he puts it all the way at the bottom, that's a far distance to go up. He puts it in the middle. Okay? And I call it the halfway rule. And this is what we're going to be teaching. We're going to be teaching the halfway rule, how to be here and there at the same time. So being able to go and be in a position that I'm able to recover, but I'm able to go and actually arrive at the right time, right? It's a lot easier to go and arrive at the right time when you're halfway there. So that is what we're trying to go and teach here, is we're trying to go and teach how to be here and there at the same time. Okay? We teach influencing. Imagine being able to know where that puck's going to go. Well, you're able to go and do that. You're able to go and do it by your approach to the player, right? You're able to go and give him enough space that he's going to be like, oh, I'm going to go down the boards, and then you're going to take it away, right? We're able to go and influence every situation on the ice. We teach defense from the defensive sides, but they could be applied to all positions. So forwards want to come to this. I'm telling you, knowing the knowledge of this, you're able to go and apply it, whether you're in the neutral zone that you're approaching a player. Well, instead of going straight at him, that player has two options. If we're able to go right to go left, that player only has one option, is to go to his right. So it really, really does change the game, even for forwards. How to be here and there at the same time. Already went over that. And creating efficient, balanced, smarter players. Imagine instead of your son or daughter going and chasing that puck and being able and having to go and react to an opposition player. No, we're going to go and teach them how to go and actually get them to angle them to an area that we're able to grab that puck. Right? It's not about going and grabbing the puck right away. It's about your plan. It's about your plan of action to go and get them to an area where we know we're going to get the puck. Hodge, did you want to kind of explain?
Yeah, Yeah, sure. Let me just weigh in. For those of you who don't know who I am, I know some of the people on the call. My name is Brad Hodgins. I had the privilege of playing with Mike for 4 years at Michigan State before he decided to move on to the NHL, and I didn't. So that was basically the career path that we both took. But anyway, that being said, I had the privilege to go out to Toronto this past winter. I reached out to Weave sometime late fall just to see if he was actually running these camps, and he was, and he actually had a camp in between Christmas and New Year's, which we went to. And I'll be honest with you, it was refreshing, because what I realized was that, and we all tend to realize it, that practices nowadays and at any level, you don't really get into the finer details of what Mike's trying to explain. That there's a time constraint. There's forwards, there's defensemen, there's goalies, there's power plays, there's penalty kills. There's a lot to cover in a practice setting, and I just think that in today's world we don't do enough of this. So I was pleasantly surprised, and I knew Mike had these tools and the capabilities of putting on a clinic that he's trying to explain, but seeing it firsthand was just a moment for me. And I said, this is something that we really should see if possibly bring out to players here on Vancouver Island. Which he agreed. So, and one of the things that happened out there which I took wholeheartedly, was I was talking with parents that I didn't know in the stands, asking them, their feedback, and Mike can attest to this. He's got repeat guys that are coming to his camps annually, semi-annually, just can't speak enough. So to me, it was a no-brainer. Obviously, my son has transitioned from forward to defense. That's really kind of was the reason why I reached out to Mike. But I think, to his point, it's more than just being a defenseman. I think it's positional play as a whole. You hear the likes of Barkov in the NHL, best defensive forward probably by far. I'm sure he uses these tools in some sort of capacity and applies it in a forward position. So I think there's a lot of value, and I think that's the key. I think Mike hit the nail on the head at the beginning of the presentation when he introduced himself. This isn't like any other camp. It's not high intensity. It's not a conditioning camp. It's a thinking camp. It's really trying to understand, where you are on the ice at any particular given time under whatever circumstance. So it's unique, and there's value to that. And I thought that, I want to thank him for entertaining the idea of coming out to Vancouver Island. And no other camp I've ever been in will actually do a Zoom call like this, where you actually get into the finer details and do a question and answer session, followed by the actual camp itself, and then have a post camp to really, helping your son or daughter, how they're doing with their current team, and if they're applying the tools. It says a lot. So I think, I can go on and on and on. I don't want to take up too much more of the time here, but we're excited to go again, and we'll probably continue to go as long as Nathan wants to go. And, I know there's some guys on the call today that definitely will definitely see some value. And you're never good enough, put it that way. Doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter what level you play, you can always learn. And Mike's great at it. So we look forward to it. But the big thing is with this, don't be shy. Ask questions. Mike's there. He's willing to help and give back, and that's really it. So.
Well, thanks, Haji.
You got it, buddy.
Yeah. If you guys go to defensefirst.com, go to the Vancouver Island one, and then I will be putting the video right here, but this goes and shows a little bit more about the camp. So this is kind of our first time in Vancouver. So we're really excited about it, and hopefully it's going to be a yearly thing, and we're going to be coming back again and again. So when you're ready, click on enroll. I also do, private lessons wouldn't be there, but I do video game reviews. So you just go and post it. As long as your barn has a live barn, I'm able to go and grab it, and we're able to do a game review as well. So if you have any questions, email info@defensefirst.com. If you wanted to, the business line is 647-977-2280. If you wanted to go and do that, or if you wanted to go to our main webpage and go to the contact and just post a question, I'll for sure make sure I get back in touch with you. Hopefully be working with you. And all right, I'll see you guys at the camp.